up, there was a guy named Ish, and he was knocking people out with his 52. But he was also a Golden Glove champion. So what I picked up from that, and people ask me why my 52 looks different, and it was this.
Your 52 look different because you don't know it. You have yet to claim who your real teacher was. You rely on the little bit of boxing you know and a little bit of martial arts you know. Horse-faced fraud.
Same thing with Ish that now I see was that there's a brother named Rob Mel out there, and I can't discount him out of my life.
You damn straight you can't discount him because you started dick riding the style and now you're using it to make money. And you know any given time or place, he slapped the earth, wind, and fire out you.
Much as I believe that, he got a lot of work to do with himself. He would come and
but he knocked you out with 2 fingers.
And slap box with me every Friday. And what happened with a lot of 52 block guys was they began to punch like they slap boxed. So
that's what you was doing. And if you look on my video, you'll see that you was trying to compete with Rob with the slap boxing at 52 and you couldn't do it. That's your weak technique, not his.
Oh, this created bad punching skills. And when I met Wilson Pitts, he was like, yo, this shit.
So again, you referencing some white man that knows how to box, but he's telling you about 52. That don't make sense. Tell your students and all these people that got the certificates who taught you 52.
Looks good, but you punch like a bitch.
Yeah, you punch like a bitch, but Rod knocked your ass out with 2 fingers. You punch like a bitch. You can't discredit that man's 52 because you couldn't understand it and figure it out.
So was Rod your first teacher then?
No. Rod, what I give credit for Rod is that.
You hear that? Give credit. But then in the same breath, you and your boy Knock Measy want to talk shit. That man slapped the earth, wind, and fire out y'all, man. 2-finger knockout. It wasn't no eye poke because he wasn't rubbing your eyes when he knocked you out your seat. I seen the whole footage raw, the whole footage. It was a 2-finger knockout. He knocked you out your seat. Anybody that get poked in the eye, the first thing they do is what? They grab their eye. You ain't get poked in the eye. You got knocked out with 2 fingers. So why that man need to punch you for? He was showing you mercy.
The time he came down every Friday
to slap the shit out of you.
And Fridays and Saturdays, he would come down because I would hang out on 110th and 7th Avenue under it was like a scaffold area. And he would come down every Friday and Saturday and slap box with me. Like how I met Rob, my friend knew him. He had just came home from jail and we bumped into each other in Harlem. And my man was like, yo, this is that kid Lyte that he's always talking about the 52. And at that time, when I came to Manhattan, for some reason, a lot of brothers in Manhattan didn't know what 52 was. It was like when I came from Queens and brought it to Manhattan, people like, what? Never heard of no 52. So I was like, I guess maybe I dreamt this shit. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, maybe I made it up in my own head. Because nobody in Manhattan knew, but Rob was somebody from Harlem that did it. And when we met that night, he started swinging his hands around real fast. And he pushed homie out the way. And we started let me see what you know. And he started, his hands was swinging like propellers. And all I could feel was my mind told me to lift up my right hand, closed door, and Rod tried to slap the shit out of me. Yo, this dude just met me, and the force of that slap, that if I didn't lift my arm up, he would have slapped me to the ground. And he had just met me. And
the force of the slap, but you saying the man don't know how to punch. No, you don't know. You don't know how to punch or strike. 52 has multiple strikes, not just punches, man. But your understanding of it is limited. But instead of trying to learn it, you go discredit that man. Come on, man. You fraudulent, man.
And so he's one of those type of dudes. So
yeah, I know. He and I was supposed to fight on an MMA show in I think 2000. What was that, like 2009 or something,
2009,
right?
2009,
yeah. They for anyone in the chat and who's watching, I was supposed to fight Lyte Burly's teacher on an MMA show, and it was going to be 52 blocks versus Muay Thai. And this dude Ra is a big dude. He's bigger than me. He's lanky, and he could fight his ass off. I was with the shits. Like, I ain't never backed down from anybody in my life.
Yo, man, fighting is fighting, man. If you trying to fight and improve your fighting skills for survival, not for sport or competition, for survival, there ain't no weight division if somebody trying to run up on you on the street. So all that shit is irrelevant.
But I'm gonna keep it 100. The goddamn promoter told me a couple years ago that he was scared for me. That's why he canceled a fight. No, he told me he didn't want me to fight Duke. I'm like, yo, son, I went there. I was sitting right a couple of seats behind him. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable in my hand skills. But Rob, you know what I'm saying? I'd be lying if I said he wasn't nice with his hands.
Yeah. So why y'all discredit him then? Yeah, why y'all be discrediting him?
But I would have put my money on you, and that's just knowing the fight game is that my man Knock is prepared to fight all of the rounds, and I try to tell people you can't just fantasize to be a fighter, and that's what happened with a lot of the 52 guys, including Rod and the old ones, the older dudes that I met. Is you smoking cigarettes, homie? Like, do you know with 3 minutes of fighting, 5 rounds, 3 minutes a round, you won't make it out of that. And there's a thing of being a natural fighter. So Rob was fighting people that didn't know how to fight.
You don't know that man fight history. Same way that your students don't know your fight history. Nobody's seen you boxing in the ring and competing. They only got that one piece of footage from when you was doing a little jiu-jitsu tournament or whatever you was doing. What's your fight resume looking like? You know what I'm saying? And when he was smoking cigarettes, he was slapping the shit out you up and down the street. 2-finger knockout.
I try to tell this to all street fighters, and it may hurt their feelings, but it's a fact. If you haven't trained to fight, you don't know how to fight. I'm sorry. It's like trying to be a mechanic without knowing how to be a mechanic. You just can't do that. And fighting is the same thing. But since fighting is so emotional, people believe just because
fighting is emotional. I thought when you step into the ring, you're supposed to control your emotions.
They can get mad, they can fight, and that is a myth. And like I said, my money would have been on Knock all day. That Rod is big, but Rod has no stamina. He has no skill set that can work over time.
But you chose to learn from him, right? So what'd that say about you? Come on, man. You's a fraud and a hypocrite, man. You using this thing to make money, man. Come on, man. No integrity. You know what I'm saying? You's a fraud.
Repetition. And tricks are good, but it won't work in the ring.
It won't. Yo, this guy, man. Tricks are good, but it was working on you to the point where you sought him out. So again, man, your shit ain't adding up, man. You can't research any martial art and just click on the first thing that pop up, man. You gotta make sure your teacher is solid, man. Make sure your teacher has some fights under his belt, some real fights, man. Not the first thing you see, man. This 52 thing is real, and there's too many people out here misrepresenting it, man.
You know what's crazy about that? Like, people from my YouTube channel have seen me on YouTube or real life when I turn up. Like, when I get quiet,
man, nobody care about that shit, man. Hey, yo, man, this is Master Chi. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick about integrity, man. You know, all the cats that I have these little disagreements with on YouTube, I give y'all one thing. Y'all both love 52. But love is the highest level of understanding. So you got to understand this 52 thing. Do your research. You know what I'm saying? Don't jump on the first thing you see, man. This guy like Burly don't know this 52 thing, man. He sparred with Knockmeezy like 10 years ago. The footage is there. Knockmeezy almost kicked his face off. Lyte ain't have no blocks for it. And to this day, you got blocks for it now, Lyte? You and Knockmeezy spar. You spar with someone else that's a kickboxer, Muay Thai. You got blocks for it now? I ask you solid questions. Can you deal with multiple opponents? Can you give somebody 10 free swings and they block your attack? Or you block their attack? 10 free swings untelegraphed. Can you block their attack? Nah, you never answer that. You want to call people names and do this and that. Yo, at the end of the day, you a fraud. You got 7 interviews on YouTube. All of them an hour long, plus maybe even longer than that. Them joints, some of them joints is 6 years old, and you can't even get 1,000 hits off of that. You know why? Because you talk the same redundant shit. Because your understanding of 52 is limited. We all love 52, so we all got to represent it, right? But at some point, you got to look for the truth, man. And you ain't got it, man. You mad because Ra got that one interview on Flip the Script, and people see what it is. What you got. And you from Queens. Come on, G. If you did it right, I wouldn't have no issue with you. But your whole shit is fraudulent, man. And you teaching youngsters out there from a boxing standpoint, man. You not teaching it from a real standpoint because you don't know the history of 52. If you do, tell me who taught you 52. And I keep my mouth quiet. But you's a fraud, G. At the end of the day, you's a fraud, man. And I'ma be around. I ain't got no problem sparring your students. I'ma be around, man. I'll let you know when I pop up. That's what it is.